Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So we are into our second day on developing animated digital content using iPad for online learning materials at UiTM, organized by Faculty of Applied Sciences, UiTM Shah Alam, and Apple Teachers Community. So before we begin, let's begin with Umul Kitab, Al-Fatiha. Okay, so let's read Al-Fatiha. Okay, so we are into the second day, and this morning is session 3 on developing background music, sounds, and audio recording. And our presenter today is Dr. Harwati Hashim from the Faculty of Education, UTM. All right, online workshop guidelines. Number 1, please ensure your mic is on mute mode during this session. Number 2, this session will be recorded. So in case you missed out any part, we will give you the link in the Telegram support group. Number 3, please use the chat feature to ask questions during the presentation. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the program. And number 4, do not use the screen sharing feature when trainer or presenter is sharing his or her presentation. Now, this is the attendance form. So you can scan the attendance form for today's session, for this morning's session. So I'll give you around 30 seconds to scan and fill in the form. We will show the QR code again at the end of the program in case you missed it. So this is session 3. Sorry for the typo. On developing background music, sounds, and audio recording. And our presenter is Dr. Harwati Hashim from Faculty of Education, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, or UKM. And she is also a certified Apple teacher. Okay, so this is the QR code for Dr. Harwati's workbook. So you can scan and this will lead you to her workbook, which we will be using today in our hands-on activity, okay? So everybody okay?
Okay.
Right, so I'll hand it over to Dr. Harwati. Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, No, for the introduction. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, everyone. So I hope everyone still have the same spirit daripada semalam, first session, second session up until today's session. So we're going to continue our training on developing background music, sounds, and audio recording. So basically, yesterday you have done your drawing, and then in the afternoon session, you have done your animation. So today we want to leverage our content by using sounds, because without sounds, then it's going to be nothing lah kan, dia macam static sahaja. So what we need to do today is, of course, you need this workbook, because basically I'm going to use this workbook for us to have the same practices, okay, for our sounds. All right, so before I begin, okay, is everyone ready? Before I begin, let me show you a few samples on focus on the sounds, focus on the use of music or backgrounds or voiceover for the content.
This high-rise apartment building stands over busy streets.
Yes, okay, because it was not that loud from my side.
Yeah, because it's quite soft as well from my side.
Demolished floor by floor from the top down.
Yeah, this one is the loudest.
The expert begins by assembling a framework that covers the top of the building like a cap. The cab is supported by movable legs resting on the top floor of the building. As this floor is demolished section by section, the legs step down to rest on the floor beneath. When all the legs have stepped down, the framework is lowered and demolition begins on the next floor.
Okay, so that is one sample. What do you think? What kind of sounds do you hear from the sample? Maybe you can share your answers in the chat box. Let me check. Okay, do you hear any sounds from narration? Okay, maybe because the sound was not that clear, so it was only appear that just the narration came out, but there are actually sounds, music background, as well as what do you call sound effect, bunyi macam pecah dinding. Okay, but don't worry, I'm going to show you the raw file after this, the sounds. All right, so this is another samples. Yeah, it's soft, I'm not sure.
Vygotsky's theories stress the fundamental role of social interaction in the development of cognition, as he believed strongly that community plays a central role in the process of making meaning. Vygotsky claimed that we are born with four elementary mental functions, which are attention, sensation, perceptions, and memory. We use these elementary mental skills to develop and finally gain higher mental function. This development ideally happen in the zone of proximal development. First, this is what we can do on our own. Then there is the zone of proximal development, which represents what we can do with the help of an adult, friend, technology, or what Vygotsky refers as the more knowledgeable other. Last, there is a zone which is what beyond our reach.
Okay, so that is the second one whereby there's only a little bit of soundtrack in the beginning, and then from the second part up until the end, there were only a narration or voiceover, and then in the end, just a little bit of sound effect of what do you call schools punya loceng kan? Sekolah. Okay, so if you notice, for content, when we use for teaching and learning, we have to be careful of the sounds that we use. So it's not going to be that fancy lah, because what we want to pay attention is on the sounds, on the content. However, we cannot deny the role of sounds to make our content more interactive. So what I'm going to focus here are actually on these three main elements, which are background sounds. As you can hear just now, there are background sounds. Okay, there's also sound effect used in both videos, and then of course this is the thing that we cannot avoid, which is the voiceover lah of the lecturer or the one who is teaching the course or the content. Okay, and before I proceed, I just want to make sure, has everyone installed GarageBand in your iPad? Maybe you can respond in the chat box. Yes, okay, Miss Rahila, you have installed GarageBand. All right, great. Okay, Mr. Aiman or Dr. Aiman, can you kindly install now, because we are going to use GarageBand. So I'm going to show you. So basically, you need to see what do we have in GarageBand. Okay, so now let me just introduce to GarageBand, because we need to know what do GarageBand offer lah. All right. Can we now together go to GarageBand? It is this one, yeah? The one with the guitar icon. So we need to open up our GarageBand. I hope everyone is doing the same thing, so everyone is following. Let me just double check. Oops. Okay, if you have problems, if you cannot get to GarageBand, let me know so that I can slow it down and we get to have this hands-on experience together. Because you need to know what do we have in GarageBand, what are the icons and what are the interfaces. All right, so is everyone okay? Now, once you tap on GarageBand, you have this is what we call desktop. So this desktop shows you the current files, the recent files that you are doing in the projects. We call this as projects. This is raw data. These are all raw files of the music project that you are doing on GarageBand. So if you can see the plus sign on top on the right side, if you open it and you don't have this interface, that means you don't have any project yet. So don't worry, because mine I have a few, so I have this desktop. If yours, if you were to tap and you go straight away to this, don't worry, that means you don't have any project yet. I'm sure after this you're going to have a lot of project, right? Okay. So as for you know, uh, if you were to go to this interface, if yours is takes you to this interface, you need to just tap on the plus sign on top on your right side. Okay, so tap on the plus sign and it will take you to this interface. All right, just pay attention. In GarageBand, there are two features, main features. Yeah, one is tracks on top in the middle, and another one is live loops, where you have a lot of options for you to use. Okay, and I'm not going to show live loop yet, so I'm going to show you what do tracks offer. Okay, now everybody, I hope everyone is now at this interface. Okay, so what I need you to do now is to, okay, just to let you know that under tracks there are a few instruments. All these are instruments. That means advantage is for those who can play music, who understand codes and so on. As for now, as for me, I don't play music, so apa tu, I buta music lah, buta code. Okay, so if you know how to play music, so this will be an advantage for those who can play music. So under tracks, we have a lot of instrument. Just to go through with you, there are guitar, well, drummer. Okay, this one we rarely use. And then we have keyboard, we have drums and amplifier, and as well as audio recorder. We have strings, of course, bass and guitar back. All right. The most current one that we use is the smart guitar, because like for me myself, I don't know how to play music so much. So I just let's just go through guitar together. Let's do this together. Let's try out. Okay. Right. So I hope everyone is following. So now, once you have this guitar, I need you to tap on smart guitar. Okay, please slow me down if I'm too fast. Okay, as simple as this, in this interface, there are a few icons that you need to understand. These icons shows the file. Every time you press this, it will take you back to the desktop. Okay, right. This one I have pressed that button, so it takes me to the desktop. Okay. Now, these three buttons in the middle, all right, sorry, lagging. Okay, these three squares in the middle is for you to change your instrument. So if you were to tap this, it will take you back to the instruments, right? Now, and then, okay, all right, this one not so much. This one is the rewind button, play button, recording button, and this is for you to control the volume. This is what we call metronome. Yeah? All right, this one is what we call metronome, the one that if you were to play music or sing the count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the beat. So that is what we call metronome in this GarageBand. Okay, and of course, if you were to use GarageBand, you may want to um, put that metronome into no sound. And how do you control that? You can go to setting and change the setting and count in like here. And then we can change the metronome to no sound, so on and so forth. So you can play around with the setting. And if you were to change your section, I just let you know because I myself pun tak pandai music kan. Okay, if you know if you play music, you know about bars and everything, you can just change the bars here. Or maybe you want to go for automatic, you can change to automatic, right? So these are actually the codes. Okay, you can insert in this code by changing this code here. Right, sorry. Okay, edit codes. So you can edit codes here. Okay, right. So I don't play music, so let's just play around with the default codes. And these are default codes. Let me show you. And then if you can see this autoplay button, if it is off, meaning that you have to what do you call stream. Orang main gitar tahulah kan apa tu? Boring Okay, so you have to do this. Okay, if you don't play guitar, so you don't worry, you can just go to autoplay, you can play around, and then it will play by itself. Like, but of course you have to tap on the note. Okay. Okay. So you can play around. If you want to record, you just tap on the record button, tap on record, see the metronome, okay, and then just tap. So if you can see the red line up there, it means that it shows that it is recording. The recording is ongoing. Okay. I'm just showing you one example first, yeah? All right. Okay. So once you have done recording, you can see the green button on top now turns into green. The red one turns into green, meaning that it is recorded. And once it is recorded, okay, you just need to find the time. Yeah, okay. So No is looking at the chat box, yeah? Okay, at the same time. Right, let me know if I need to answer any question. All right, so
Sure.
once it is recorded, when it turns into green, means it is recorded. So how do you check your recording? Tap on this icon, the bricks icon. So if you were to tap on the bricks icon, it will take you to this. This is what we call project file. The one that you have recorded just now, it turns into project file. And if you think that you want to add on more instrument, what you need to do is to press on the plus button at the bottom. Let's go together as an example. Okay, and let's say I want to add on drama. So of course I don't play drum, so I just make use of the drama available. So you can just play around with this. You can change Carl to I love Leah. I don't know why. I just love Leah. So you can choose your own drama. So let's hear how's Leah's play. Okay. So if you were to go back, once you are happy with Leah, and then go back to the bricks, and now the drama is added to the project. And you can also change. You can just tap, and then move around if you want the drama comes later. So here you can check your project. Sorry. So you can just check your project. Music. Just a simple music for you to play around with. Okay, to show you on track. And of course, there are a lot of other instruments that you can play around with. And as I mentioned just now, and you also notice that you can play around. If I were to play all this, it would take like 1 day for us to go through. So let's just make a few examples. All right. And also, this audio recorder is for you to do voiceover and narration. Okay, like for example, if you were to go to voice, let's say if you want to sing, by all means do sing. But if you want to just narrate, your content, what you can do is you can just record by using this record button. The red one, once you tap on this and then it will be recorded. I cannot try this because at the same time I'm using Zoom, so a synchronous meeting now. So because of that I cannot try out recording my voice. But you can try out if you are not using Zoom using your iPad device. Okay, right. So, and also please pay attention, you can always play around with lead vocals. Once you tap on lead vocals, you can also change to narrator. If you want to change to narrator, and then you can narrate your voice clearer. If not, you can also play around with fun. If you can see this fun button, fun feature, and then you can change your voice into either monster, robot, telephone, even chipmunks. So you can play around with that. By all means, try out. It is going to be very interesting, especially if you want to make your content a bit relaxing and more engaging. All right, but those are features that are available in tracks. Don't worry, if you are like me, we don't play music, we don't know code. What I usually do is I use live loops. Okay, so if you were to go to live loops, don't worry, this one is just getting to know. Once the hands-on practice later, we will go back to GarageBand. Just let me show you what do GarageBand offers and what does GarageBand offer. Okay, so just pay attention. If you were to live loops, if you tap on live loops, you can see these options. Like myself, I have downloaded all available options. If yours is little, only one page, what you need to do is to go to sound library, and then you check here. If you have new, like myself, I have downloaded all. Okay. If you have new, please download. Then only once you have downloaded, no, it is not download. It is the notification is get. Yeah, Miss No, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So you just tap on the get, and then it will go to this desktop. So you have options here. And for this, if you don't know how to play music, we can just tap on one. Like for example, I choose Skyline, and then I can just do mixing. I can just mix, yeah. Like for example, let's say I tap one. I'm sorry, I don't want this. Okay. So you can tap a few options to mix in different songs. So why do we need to use GarageBand? Is because all these songs or effects are actually composed or created by you. So there is no issue in terms of copyright. There is no issue of taking or using someone else's song or sound that are available online. Yes, of course, the easiest way is you just use whatever free available online. But it will give you satisfaction to compose your own sound. Okay, so the same process we do to record. Tap on the
Wadi,
record button, yeah.
the sound was a bit too loud, so I
Oh,
don't think
so
the
loud.
participant
So
heard
loud, yeah?
what you said.
Oh, okay. So the one on the explanation, yeah, on the explanation part.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Miss No. Okay, why do we ask you to use GarageBand? Why do we encourage use GarageBand? Is because all songs or sounds are actually created by you. You compose your own songs, you compose your own sounds. So there's no issue in terms of bridging the copyright or taking or using someone else songs or sounds without permission. So that is very important because the issue is when you want to upload your content in the YouTube may filter your content and you may not be able to use whatever song that you have taken from someone else or any other composer. So this is the best way for you to develop your own sounds, to create your own sounds so that there is no issue in terms of copyright. So as I mentioned just now, the same process goes to recording. You just need to record and tap all this. Okay. And if you don't want to go into sounds, let's say for your content, you don't need sounds, you don't need background sounds, but you need sound effect, right? Don't worry, we also have sound effects in GarageBand. Like for example, let's say yours is more of moving machine. You need the sounds of cars, you need the sounds of machines, like for example. So there are a lot of course, you have to tap one by one to try out, to listen to the sounds, yeah? This is one example. So we have, okay, the sounds of cars, and of course we have, that is lorry. Okay, for example. So there are few sounds that are available in GarageBand to have for you to try out. Okay, now, so is GarageBand clear now? Have you ever used GarageBand before? Maybe you can share. Miss
Yeah,
Izzy, yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, so everyone is like, we don't try to use but couldn't figure out. Just open and close. Okay. So now you know how to use GarageBand and what does GarageBand offer. So it has a lot of features that helps you to compose songs, and everyone can become composers. Same goes to our tagline before this. Everyone can create. With GarageBand, everyone can compose. Isn't it, Miss No? Okay. All right. So
yes, correct.
yeah, enough with GarageBand. So let's go back to our content. Nanti everyone tengok GarageBand tak nak buat content pula, asyik buat lagu. Okay. So we get to know to GarageBand. Then we have already aware of all the features, or get to know all the features available in GarageBand. And now what we need to do is to have the background sound. How do we get our background sound from GarageBand into our keynote? Okay. Now I have this let's say if you were to watch the demolition just now, okay, you can see that perhaps only the narration that you can hear due to technical problem just now. But however, there are actually sounds of the music sounds starting. Perhaps I can play the video so that you can hear clearer. Can you hear that? Okay, so let me just play.
This high-rise apartment.
Okay, so that is actually I use GarageBand to compose that sounds. Let's do this together. Now we do the hands-on practice. Now you have your workbook. Have you downloaded your workbook? Can you open your workbook? And I think I have inserted this page in the workbook. Let me just double check on which slide. It is on slide 5. Okay, so everyone is like very focused. Let me just double check. Anyone need helps? Go to your workbook on slide 5 so that we can do this together, inserting the soundtrack. The background sound. Okay, can we do now? Is everyone ready? I'm not going to, where can I get the workbook? Yeah, actually, you can scan this code, this code again. Okay, Ms. Rahela or Dr. Rahela, you can scan this QR code and it will take you to the workbook. Or I think we share it in the chat box, the link. Okay, so I've put the link in the chat box. So it's either you go to the link or you scan this QR code. All right, so is everyone ready for us to go to do this together? So you have to pay attention, because if you miss any of this step, it may be technical problems sikit nanti, you akan tak jadi. So you have to go through this together. Okay, assuming that you go to slide 5, I'm not going to touch on how to come up with these scenes because you have learned this yesterday. So we're going to put background sounds to this slide. Now we have this in our keynote. Let's go to GarageBand. Okay, so if I were to play again the sound just now, you may come up with your own sound. Doesn't necessarily that it is the same as mine, but just to show you one example, let me show you. So now we have this GarageBand. Okay, tap on the plus sign on top. Okay, is everyone following? Okay, so it will take you to either live loops or tracks. But because I just need one simple soundtrack, so I use live loops. Of course, you can try out all these options. You can try out either you want to use hip hop according to your content. Like myself, I want to create bunyi yang macam, because that is demolition kan, tak naklah bunyi macam hip hop sangat and tak naklah bunyi macam romantic sangat. It's just to talk about construction kan. So you have to play around with the sounds that is related to your content. Okay, so like for that content, I chose skyline hit. Do you have skyline hit in your live loops? If not, then you have to go to sound library and get it from the sound library. Okay, if not, then it's okay. Just take any of the options available in your Garageband. Okay, let's do this together. So now tap on the skyline hit. If you don't have, don't worry, just tap on any option. Of course, you can try out all sounds, but just to show you, the one that I used for demolition just now is actually how to scroll. This one actually there are a few options under, so at the bottom. So you need to go to this area, tap and move, yeah. Then you have more options at the bottom. Okay, so the one I use for demolition just now, I use these sounds. Okay, right. So I tap on this one. I use this one. Macam bunyi apa tu orang kata macam mana cakap, I think it's more in relation to construction juga lah, macam bunyi sound, macam mana orang recreate sound kan. Kena play around with imagination. Okay. So then if you are happy with that, I'm happy with this and I want to use this. So I can just let it on. Okay, just play and then tap on the record button on top. So you just tap, let it record, maybe for a few seconds. You know how many seconds you need for your content. Okay, once done, tap stop. Once done, tap stop on top ya. Tadi ada stop button because I have pressed it. So tap on stop button and remember the next is to go to the bricks. So because we need to check whether we are happy with the sound or not. So go to the bricks and check again. Okay, fine. So we are happy with it. I don't want to add any other sounds because this is learning content. We cannot be too fancy. It has to be something in relation to what we are delivering. So therefore, I just need one just to trigger some thinking. Okay. So now once it is done, go to this icon. Okay, this this A4 flip icon. So tap on that. It will take you to the desktop and it is named as my song berapa lah, like mine dah berapa, so mine is my song 44. Yours could be my song 1, could be, it depends on how many songs that you have created the project. Bear in mind, this is only project file. Belum save jadi audio, we want to change this into audio file. Okay, so to make it life easier, you can rename this so that it will not confuse you. Later you have a lot of songs you cannot remember nombor berapa dah. So you may tap here, wrongly tap. Okay, you may tap here to rename, or if you were to tap once, it will turn like this and then you can rename. Let's say I'm going to change this to demo sound slide 1. Okay, so it's easier for us to find it later. Okay, so once you have this, okay, is everyone following? You need to see this first, or probably we do this together so that you can understand. If you have a paper, maybe you need to jot down the steps. Okay, but perhaps I think I have shared in the workbook on the steps towards the end of the slide. Okay, now tap on this and these options will come out. What we need to do now is tap on the share button. Oh, sorry. Okay, this share button. Tap the share button and then we need to convert this into, export this into song, right? Tap into song. Okay, is everyone following? Okay, right, great. Miss Noreen or Dr. Noreen. What should I call you, Dr. Noreen? Okay, so tap on song. All right, and then you have this. Remember when I mentioned that you can become the composer of your own song. So if you, ini macam saja-saja nak short sendirilah. Tengok dekat bawah ni my info. So you are the composer. I am the composer. All right, even though we make use of the Garageband. So check everything. This is like default setting, the high quality all default setting. So now we tap on the share button. Tap on the share button. It will take you to this option. Sekejap ada lagi. Alright, so you have this. Now remember, after that, you need to tap on open in. Open in, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to tap on open in. Let's do this together. Okay, you may not be able to remember this if you were to do it once, but if you were to do this many times, you will be able to remember. It's just automatic. It's an automatic process. Okay, open in. Okay, now the song is exported into audio file. Sebab selalu kan bila nak masuk, kenapa saya tak jumpa lagu saya? Kenapa lagu saya hilang? Sebab the way you export it is wrong. You may miss one of the step. Okay, now we are exporting. It depends. It depends. Okay, it depends on how complicated your sound is. Kalau dia complicated, dia ambil masa sikit lah. Okay, right. So apabila dia dah export, it will take you to this option. Now only we save to file. Okay, this option. Now only we save to file. Tap on save to file. Okay. Right. If yours is like this, you have only this option. So don't worry. Okay, tap on. Now tap on my iPad and then we have Keynote. Okay, like myself, I have a few folders under Keynote. So you can also create the same folder. You can create a folder by tapping on the plus sign on the folder. So you are creating new folder under Keynote. So I'm going to put this into digital content and save. Right. Now only this song, this project has been exported into audio file. How to check whether it is there or not? Now let's go to our Keynote. Okay, right. And then we tap on the plus sign on top. So we go back to our Keynote just now and then check on top. On top, you can see the plus sign on top. Can you see the plus sign on top? Okay, the plus sign on top. And what you need to do now is to press the plus sign. And then we have few options here. So you need to insert from. Sorry. Tap on insert from. Okay, now if you tap on insert from, you can see a lot of files, options of files in this option under this recent one. These are all recent one. If you cannot find it, you can just go to search. Okay, but if you save it correctly, if you exported it correctly, it will be appearing here. Like as you can see, mine was demolition sounds slide 1 just now. So this is what I need for this slide. So I tap on this one. So you can see this icon is appearing on the slide. So we can tap on it to double check. Okay, so done. Alright, so of course, remember when you learned animation yesterday, every time you add any build added to your slide, you have to put an animation. Okay, animate, and then make sure the start audio file is after transition. Or else if you were to convert into movie, nobody is going to tap the sounds for you. So you want it to be coming out automatically. So you have to change the setting into after transition. Okay, so let's try this. So sorry. So you have this sound. Yeah. Okay. Is everyone okay? Can you do it? Any problem so far? Right. Let me double check. Anyone with problem? Yep. Okay, no problem. Fine. I've tried to go as slow as possible just now, just because I do, because every time we have this training, participants usually miss out any of the steps, isn't it, Miss No? So sometimes participants ask to wait for them to jot down those steps. But don't
Yeah.
worry. As you go along, it is an automatic process. You will be able to remember the steps. Okay, that is for hands-on one. Now, I just want to show you another example. This may be a bit because I am a language people, so my content is more of storytelling. Okay, so I have this video to show you.
If you go to an abandoned house, you will
My
notice
abandoned house,
what
Miss
you
No.
expected.
Ghost story, yes, Miss Raila, ghost stories. So
When I
yeah.
was about 13, I lived in a small town. We had this abandoned house in my neighborhood. It was huge, but it had been empty for a while. One day, I decided to investigate what is inside of the abandoned house. It was already late when I arrived at the house.
Jangan marah Kita nak continue lagi. Okay. Lagi nak letak suspend kan to be continued. Okay, but as you can see, each slide that I use, it has different, of course, with the animation that you have learned yesterday, and I have inserted few sounds. Like for example, in the first scene, you can see that in this scene, okay, this is the main slide, and then as you can see here, this is the sound that I use for this scene. But of course, it's not moving because this is like raw file first. If I were to play, then only you can see if you go to an abandoned house, come in first, and then you will meet someone affected. Okay. So right now, oh sorry, what have I pressed? Okay. So this is one example of sounds that you can make use or you can use for your content. But of course, you may not come up with this type of content. If you are language people, then of course you are same what do you call, in the same boat like me. If not, you'll be you need to actually check or create a sounds that is actually bring the mood of students to learn. So that is very that is the most challenging part. It's not as easy as saya suka lagu ni, saya suka lagu ni, but it has to bring some mood lah, some meaning to that content. Okay, so I think that is so for background sounds. Is that okay? Can I proceed to sound effect? I just need to check whether the participants are okay so far. It is more of exploring. The workbook is for you to hands-on practice. Later you can explore using your own content. Okay, so I don't see any questions so far. So now, as simple as soundtracks, sound effects is even simpler for you to come out with. Of course, there are times that we don't find the right sound effects. So you have to be able to uh, be imaginative enough to come up with the sound effects. But if the sounds is available on Garageband, by all means, that makes our life easier. Okay, now look at this example. There's no narration yet. I purposely don't put the narration, just the sound effect. Okay, this, all right. This lecturer, this was actually produced by one of our participants from Polytechnic. So she is teaching, I think, coal mining, and in her content, she created this and she made use of the sounds available in the GarageBand. If you can guess, now try to go to GarageBand. I think you can try to go to GarageBand and check whether which area or which feature do you need to use to get this sound. Ni soalan ni. Higher order thinking skill. Okay, can you go to GarageBand now and share with me in the chat box in which feature do you find this type of sounds? Dekat mana? Siapa boleh share? Rasa-rasanya. Teka je, tak apa, don't worry. Nak bagi hadiah betul-betul tak ada, bagi virtual. Okay, what do you think? Dekat mana kita nak dapat sounds tu? Of course, yes, moving machine. Thank you, Nurin. Right, great. That means learning is happening. Okay, so you go to live loops, and then you can choose, I mean, of course, you have to try out all options. If this is your first time using it, you may find it peningnya nak check banyak sangat option. Don't worry, you can try out slowly but surely, as mentioned one of the participants just now, try out. And of course, the hint is that because it is a machine, the sounds of machine, so you can try out in moving machines and find to which sounds that is suitable to your content. So you can try out. Right? If you think that sound is suitable. So you can try around, check. Okay? Yeah, but is there, do I have it in the workbook? That slide. No, we don't have it in the workbook. So just an example. Okay, I think I've put the hands-on is for another example, for this one. Right? If you were to have this type of content, now you have this in slide, I think it's in the workbook kan, Miss No? I think it's in slide 7. Betul tak? Let me double check. Okay, slide 7. So everybody, go to slide 7. Now I want you to try to put sounds to this slide. Can you do this? What you need to do is to go to GarageBand. Okay, choose, go to GarageBand, and then you need to go to live loops. I want you to go to moving machine. Go to moving machine, and I want you to just play around, insert sounds that is connected to this slide. Boleh tak? Can we give like 2 minutes for the participant to try out? Can we have someone to share after this? Is everyone trying? Sebab tak nampak muka kan. Kalau dapat on camera tu, boleh saya nampak muka participant tengah try. On lah kamera. Boleh kita kenal-kenal. Mana tahu pernah nampak dekat conference ke, kat mana-mana ke.
I think the participants can also on their camera and then they can
tak ada
share.
webcam. Okay, okay macam ni. Sebab you are using your own iPad kan, nanti nak share tak payah share screen. Don't worry, you just angkat je. Angkat and let show macam ni and let us hear your sounds. Macam tu. Boleh tak? Can you do it? Concentrate, yes. Good. So try out, find the sounds. Lepas tu nanti kita nak minta volunteer untuk share with us the sounds that you have created on moving machine. Okay, kalau ada siapa-siapa yang rasa macam tak jumpa, bila nak masuk dekat keynote tak jumpa, let us know so that we can help you what are the steps that you have missed out. Oh, it's 10:35. Okay, so we have to go a bit faster. So can someone share? I just need one person to share with me the sound. Siapa-siapa je volunteer. How to increase the volume in the GarageBand. Alright, so if you want to increase the volume, okay, sorry about that. If you were to check, okay, in GarageBand, what good about GarageBand is that you can control the volume. Thank you for raising that issue. So what you need to do is you need to, if you can see this line, this little line here, you can just drag that and you can see the volume control. So you can just, let's say if you have a few, let's say you want to add on your narration. Okay, and let me just add on one narration. It may not be able to record, but I just want to show you. Okay. Okay, I'm just trying here. I'm not sure whether it is recorded in the Garageband because I'm also online with Zoom. Okay. Now, as you can see here, you have two sounds in Garageband. So, of course, when we are narrating, we don't want the sounds to become too loud or at the same pace of ours. Kalau tak, nanti kita macam compete dengan sound. So, you can control here. So, if you want your narration to be louder, you can increase the volume of your narration and then slow it down, decrease the sounds. So, now, it is only, of course, my voice is not coming out because I'm using Zoom. Okay, so now the background sounds become slower and your narration is louder. So you can control here. You can play around with this. So this one, yeah, yours is like this. Okay, if you don't take it out, it's like this. So you have to drag this line, drag, and then you can see you can make control of that. All right. Okay, so now any example? Can I have one example? Those who have those who has successfully, anyone has successfully put your sounds in the keynote? Okay, tak ada Miss Noh tak ada orang nak share ke bunyi? Tapi do you able to actually insert the sounds in keynote? I just want to know that. I will refer to the recording. Okay. Kalau saya rasa macam ni, I forgot the steps to save. Okay, I'll go through again with you. One more time sekali je. Sekarang 10.40. Okay. Now, you have this. Okay. Now, let's say this is what you have created. Okay. So, let's go to this file yang atas ni, kertas A4 ni. Tap on that. Okay. Bila kita tap, it will take you to this dashboard. Okay. And then this dashboard, you need to actually, okay, let me just try this one lah. Okay. You can change. If you were to tap here, okay, tap at my song 43, you can change. Try. Error. Okay. So now it is already changed the name of the file. And then you tap a bit longer and you have this option. And then you tap on share. We will share the steps in the Telegram group if you still miss out, don't worry. Tap on songs. Okay. Tap on share. Tap open in. So now it is exporting. The song is exported into audio file. Right? So once you have this one, it is ready. Save to file. And then, of course, go to Keynote and tap on save. Then only, if you go to your Keynote, tap on the plus sign. Okay, tap on the plus sign and then insert from sini. Insert from, and then you can see try error kat sini, come out. Yeah. And then tap on that and then dia dah ni. So sebenarnya patutnya bunyi mesin lah, tapi saya just try out je tadi kan. So dia dah ada lah dekat dalam slide. Okay. So don't worry, if you miss the step, kita akan share step lagi sekali dekat dalam Telegram group. We have it recorded screen recording version nanti, so it's easier for you to follow. Or also you can watch again the recorded version. Okay, so same goes to this one. This is another practice. You can try out this one later on your own to make use of the sounds demolish kan, pecah dinding dan sebagainya. Alright, so the main idea is how to voice over your content. Tadi dah bunyi, dah lagu, dah sound effect. Now how to narrate voice over. There are two ways, yang ni simple. There are two ways. Actually ada 3, tapi yang ketiga nanti Miss No akan touch petang nanti in iMovie. Tapi I'm going to touch on how to record your voice with GarageBand and also how to record the voice in Keynote. Right. So this is one example. Okay. So what I have narrated just now in the demolition video is this. Okay. When all the legs have stepped down, the framework is lowered and demolition begins on the next floor. And how do we actually record this in GarageBand is, okay, let's go to GarageBand. Okay, let's go to GarageBand. Remember the one that I have mentioned on recorder just now. Where is it, the recorder? Ingat lagi tak? Ingat tak dekat mana tadi the recorder? Of course, live loops tak ada sebab dekat live loops ni banyak yang option sedia ada. Okay, now we need to go to tracks. Yeah, tap on tracks. It's lagging about 20 seconds juga ni. Alright. Now, go to voice recorder, audio recorder. Okay, so we tap this voice and then it takes you to this interface and then you just press on the apa tu record button and record yourself lah. I cannot demo this because again I'm on Zoom, so you can try it out. And of course, don't forget to turn off the counting, yeah, the ticking tu. You just need to go to this setting button, go to metronome and count in and put it as no sound. Okay, kalau no sound then dia tak bunyi lah. Okay, go back, let's do it again. So tak ada bunyi kan? So now you cakap record, demolition, this is how buildings are demolished from floor to floor, from one section to another section, and then you stop. And then the saving process is following the same steps macam tadi. Sama juga. It takes you to this project. And of course kalau nak tambah sound, background sound kita kat sini pun boleh. You just tap on the plus sound. Okay, and then masukkan bunyi. So you have like layers of sounds dekat dalam ni. Layer by layer. Okay, saving is the same. Go to the A4 paper icon and then you go through the same steps lah as saving. Okay, so it will come out and then you can save. Because I cannot demonstrate that because it is I'm using Zoom, so you can try out. I think I've put this in the workbook. Okay, right. The easiest way, another way, yang tu kalau guna GarageBand lah. Oh dear, the internet is not in our side. Okay, now there is one simple way using GarageBand. If you were to use, this is even simpler. Yang paling senang lah, orang kata malas nak fikir, nak cepat. You record voice with Keynote. Selalu orang tanya, kenapa tak ajar awal-awal record guna Keynote? Kenapa nak guna GarageBand and everything? Sekejap lagi saya bagi tahu apa beza record guna Keynote, apa beza record guna GarageBand. Okay. Now, this one example, I think you've seen this in yesterday's session kan by Puan Asma. And Puan Asma actually narrate this. Perhaps she knows using which one, either Keynote or either GarageBand. But if you were to record this in Keynote, you just need to tap on the plus sign. And then you can see the record audio button, record audio feature, the third one out, okay, below camera. Tap on that. And then you can see down here at the bottom, this area. This is the recording area. And what you need to do is to press record. And it will be recording whatever you are saying now. Now I'm saying something, so you can see the recording is ongoing, and then you can just press stop. Okay, you can preview on the left side. You can see left side down here. Okay, you can preview, or you can edit on your right side. If you are happy with whatever you have recorded, you need to tap insert, and it is there in your slide. Okay, so now what is the difference between recording using GarageBand and recording using Keynote? This is going to be actually explained in detail by Miss No in the afternoon session. However, let me just give you a tips here. If you were to record in Keynote and later you export this as a video, right? And if you were to edit, it would be quite difficult for you to edit because it comes together with the voice, with the sounds. So kalau potong separuh, voice pun terpotong separuh lah. Unless there are tips and tricks lah nanti Miss Noor akan share kat dalam iMovie. Okay? But if you were to have a separate file, you punya slide your movie, slide as a movie, and then tadi kita buat sounds or narration kat dalam GarageBand, bila kita nak editing, those are only overlays, overlapping of file. So you can either edit the movie or edit the sounds. If you have your sounds developed in Keynote, daripada dalam Keynote, you masuk siap-siap. If you want to edit, there are more steps lah for you to edit. Nanti semua tu akan ditouch oleh Miss Noor dekat dalam iMovie. So using iMovie, it leverage everything daripada content semalam, drawing, sampai animation, sampai sound hari ni, you create the sounds, nanti iMovie akan jadikan your content lagi meletup. Lagi student suka lah nak join your class. Okay, so this is already 10:50. Tapi if you notice in the workbook, saya ada letak satu final activity. So I think what you need to do now is to actually, maybe after this, try out this one. Because I have prepared you a slide, okay, this slide, and I want you to try to narrate this and put this either using GarageBand or either using a Keynote, and then I think you put the sounds. Kalau nampak dekat dalam GarageBand, okay, if you can see in GarageBand, let me just tap this. Dekat dalam live loops, ada bunyi mana planetarium. Okay, dia ada option on planetarium. So ini hint je lah, you can play around, go to planetarium if you are teaching space ke science ke kan. So there are options on this type of content. Alright, kalau masuk lagi, you can just tap a few kalau dia line yang berbeza, you can tap a few, combinekan dia.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
So you can play around and use that and put that in this slide. Boleh tak? Are you going to take the challenge, or are you going to, or perhaps after this, try ni dulu, buat ni dulu. Once you dah get used to it, then you can try out with your own content. So I think don't worry, it's just a matter of practicing. So ada 3 benda yang kita kena focus on leveraging the use of sounds or developing the sounds. One is the sound, background sounds. If your content need a background sounds, yes, my tips is that jangan sampai background sound to distract lah the content. And also the sound effect. Again, sometimes we get overexcited, so the sound effects become too fancy and not meaningful. So you have to make sure whatever sounds that you're using are meaningful to your content. Sesuai lah, nanti kalau banyak sangat bunyi yang fancy sangat and tak meaningful, it will distract your students punya attention. And then the third one is of course the voiceover and narration. And if I were to share tips, don't worry, kebanyakan peserta lah ataupun kita lah lecturers, we find it macam tak confident lah nak dengar suara sendiri. But don't worry, it turns out to be fine. You just need to practice a lot and minum banyak air madu. Tak adalah, I'm just joking. Okay, so try out. This is going to be very interesting rather than just your voice kan. Kadang-kadang kita screen recording itu kita punya suara saja. But if you can come up with this animated content, animated digital content, and you leverage the use of sounds, you leverage the use of sound effects and everything, it will make your content more powerful and more meaningful to the students, to give them a more meaningful learning experience. So with that, I think we have 10 more minutes, Miss Noor. I would like to open for Q&A if the participant Has any participant has any question that you need to clarify here, or else we can always clarify in Telegram, kan, Miss No?
Yes. And I've shared
Yes.
the link to the Telegram in the chat. So please do join us in the Telegram support group. That is where we will share all the links to all the sessions for this particular workshop. Okay, so you can you can head on to the chat room, and that is the link. Okay, so please do join us there. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Think some-
if you have any questions, please use the chat feature to ask Dr. Harwati any questions pertaining to
Yes,
the
please.
sound.
Yes, anything. Anything that would like to ask, by all means, please clarify. Kalau tak pun mungkin as you are doing it, once you are experiencing it, you may come up with constraint ke macam mana. Just let us know. Nanti kita akan try to accommodate lah.
Yes. Okay, but before you go, we would like to take photos. Okay, Wi-Fi. Okay, so can everyone
Okay.
can everyone please turn on your camera so we can take a picture together.
Yes.
Yay! So I see some. Hi, Asma.
Asma dekat situ.
Nice virtual background.
I hope everyone is okay. Kalau ada problem for the sounds, boleh je tanya dekat dalam Telegram. Don't worry. We will try to facilitate as much as possible. So kalau you miss the step tadi, don't worry because every time kita bagi training, participant akan miss the step for the first time. Lepas tu lama-lama dia terror dah. So let us facilitate and help you when it comes to saving and exporting the sound to become audio file daripada Garageband tadi. So you don't have to be worried.
You switch on your camera.
Yes, there are a few.
There are still a few.
Okay, Harwati tu saya punya another device, tak payah on.
Some don't have a webcam.
Yep.
I think some do. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture right now. So smile, everyone. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more.
One more.
One.
Okay.
Eyes on the camera. Smile. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and
Alright.
gentlemen, for today's session.
Thank you, everybody.
In the afternoon, we will have the last session, which is on iMovie, where we use everything that you have learned from yesterday morning, afternoon, as well as today, right now. Okay, so I hope to see you in the afternoon. That will be 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. And hopefully there's no thunderstorm. Okay. Okay, with that, thank you so much. I'll wait for everyone to leave the room and then I'll close the room here.